This is part 2 of my video series on how to magnetize Warhammer units using inexpensive materials. And in the first step we cut out a piece of sheet magnet and we superglued it to our movement tray. That's also going to help make your movement tray nice and sturdy. So in this step, all we're going to do is we're going to take some strip magnet here and we're going to apply it to the bottoms of bases. Now when you're choosing your strip magnet, you want to make sure that it's not too thick so that it exceeds the depth of your base. You don't want them to be standing extra high because the magnet is so thick, but you don't want it too thin so that it can't reach the sheet metal. So this typical size, maybe it looks like it's about 2 or 3 millimeters probably. So all we're going to do is we're going to cut out slightly less than 1 inch strips, and then we'll just glue them right to the bottom of the bases. So it looks like about 2 centimeters worth should be good. So just get a pair of scissors, and I've got 10 guys, so I'm going to cut 10 pieces. I'm pretty much just going to eyeball it. It's not too crucial how big it is, as long as it fits. So that's a decent size. It's fitting under there pretty good. So if you want, you can measure out one, and then you can use that as your guideline to keep going. Gonna make sure we're still good. Yeah. So I've got 4 more pieces. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. So now that was pretty simple. I've got 10 pieces of strip magnet. Now these things happen to come with some adhesive already on the bottom, like a sticker, but that's usually not sufficient to keep it to the base. So you're gonna wanna super glue them. So now I'm gonna grab my Chaos Warriors, my Chosen, and I'm just gonna start gluing the pieces to the bottom of the bases. Now normally I'd use a Gale Force 9 super glue accelerant that would aid in the speed of this process. Unfortunately, my hobby store is all sold out, and they seem to have trouble importing it. But so I'm just going to have to do this the old-fashioned way, and I'm going to have to just make sure you let the super glue dry for a sufficient amount of time before you go sticking it to your metal tray, or else that super glue is gonna go all over your sheet metal, and it's gonna make a real mess. So I'm just gonna press it there. I really miss my accelerant, because I could just spray this and it'd be done, but no luck. So that's all it looks like. It's gonna look like that. I can tell this is going to frustrate me already because it's not sticking as well as I'd like. It's a little warped. I'm going to press on anyways. I'm going to use a little less super glue, I think. So this part's pretty straightforward. My strip magnet will work with 20 mil bases. These are 25 mil bases. You don't need to fill the whole cavity on the bottom of the base to get an effective magnetization. While I'm doing this, I might as well talk about these conversions. These are Chaos Warrior Chosen conversions. I've made them using torsos and arms, shoulder pads from the new Chaos Knight box set, and the legs are from the traditional Chaos Warrior box set. They were actually kind of leftover parts that I had after I did my Chaos Knight conversion, where I took the traditional Chaos Warrior, basically that cape look, how they have capes in the fur at the top, and I really like the old metal Chaos Knights that had the fur on their cloaks. So I decided I would use the torsos of the Chaos Warrior plastics combined with the new Knight plastics to make sort of an old school looking Chaos Warrior, Chaos Knight unit. And the byproduct of that was I was able to convert these Chosen out of the remaining parts. I was really happy with the way these came out. I'm probably going to do a quick video series about how I made those Chaos Knights, and maybe even these Chosen. So this part's obviously pretty boring. All I'm going to do is just keep gluing these onto the bottom. Again, missing my super glue accelerant would be a lot easier if I had that. I'm thinking should speed this up a little bit. The adhesive sticking to my fingers. So the super glue I'm using is Gale Force 9 super glue. I find it's just a bit cheaper than the Games Workshop stuff, but I like to support Gale Force 9 when I can because I really like their supplies, especially the super glue accelerant that goes with the super glue. They make a really good pair, and it's really changed the whole way I've used super glue, because I used to really dislike using super glue because it would get all over my fingers and it would just drive me crazy. But ever since I've used the super glue accelerant, you just put the connection together, you just spray it. It's like comes in like a little, almost like a window cleaning type bottle for your hand. It's very small. You just sort of spray it on. It's almost like an alcohol-based liquid or something. It evaporates really quickly, but as soon as it comes in contact with super glue, the super glue immediately crystallizes and hardens, and it just speeds up the modeling process. And not only does it speed it up, but you're less likely to get all sticky and frustrated and irritated when you're putting things together. So that's 9 guys, 1 more to go. So you have to excuse it for being so boring, but I do like to show as many steps as I can, be as thorough as possible with these videos. So you can see they've all got magnets on the bottom now. Got the sheet metal glued there. In the next step, I'm going to take my strip magnet, and I'm going to cut out, I'm going to trace the bottom and glue it to the bottom of the movement tray. And hopefully by that time, all the super glue on the bottom of the base will be dried, and I can show you what it looks like when it's all done. Stay tuned for part 3.